いやー、いつも日本語うまいな、日本語めっちゃ上手やなって言われたんだけど、ほんまペラペラちゃうで。いや、ある程度だけやから注意してください、ほんま。なんで日本語みたいな結構聞かれてるんで、なぜか言うと、ちっちゃい頃から、日本の興味めっちゃあって、食べ物とかゲームとかアニメとか、いや結構あって興味あってね。それからやな。で、勉強方法って言うと、俺教科書とか学校とか全然行ったことないんだから、完全独学。Boy, you thought I was gonna talk in Japanese the whole video? Like, I don't got time to make no subtitles, bro. You know how long that take? Anybody got time for that? So as you guys know, I had like a big, I guess you'd say like, liking towards Japanese culture. I always like growing up. I always liked it. Watching like Dragon Ball Z with my older brother when we were little. I always loved Nintendo games. Anime was cool. I always thought it was like different. I was like, whoa, this is so different compared to what I have, and I wanted to like learn more about it. So finally, when I was, I believe, the age of 15, I started to learn Japanese. I started to teach myself Japanese. And I started doing this with Duolingo at first. I started off by using Duolingo to learn the hiragana and katakana. I think Duolingo is a great place to start Japanese if you just want to learn the hiragana and katakana. After that, NG this ne. Like don't use that, man. Like you're just gonna waste your time. Trust me. So at this point, I knew hiragana and katakana, zero kanji. Shortly after, I decided to invest some money. So I put in some money for this app. It's called Pimser. It's basically an audio lesson app where it's all speaking and listening. It's like 30-minute audio lessons, and the person's like, say this, and you say it, and then there's like a conversation happening in the audio lesson, and you're trying to like keep up with the conversation, and that's what it is. This actually helped me a lot with my pronunciation. I was able to pronounce. I'm not the best at pronunciation, but like this is what helped me a lot with my pronunciation. This also helped me say like basic phrases like, oh, where's the bathroom, or how much is this? And this was really helpful because I was actually going to Japan shortly after. I'm not sponsored or anything, but like if you do want to learn Japanese as quickly as you can, the most important stuff before you go to Japan for like a trip or vacation or whatever, or business, use Pimser. I'll leave a link down below. It's actually helpful. No sponsor, just 100% my honest opinion. At this point, I was also attempting to learn kanji. I was just trying my best to like learn whatever kanji I could. The most basic ones like big, moon, book. These like really basic kanji are like most common or usually ones too. I was learning these on the side too, none too serious. So at this point, I knew hiragana, katakana, basic sentence structure, and very few kanji. I don't know the exact number. I don't remember, but it was a really small amount. It was just like, it was nothing pretty much. Then we went to Japan for a 2-week vacation. Me, my older brother, and his friends. We went to Japan. I was like 15 at this time, so I've been studying Japanese for around 3-4 months ish at this time. So 3 months. Let's just say like 4 months. We were in Japan. At this point, I was the translator. I was still really limited in what I could say, but I was the translator. So I was saying like, where's the bathroom? How much is this? How can I get to this place? Also, because we were in Japan, I tried to use Japanese as much as I could to like actually practice and speak with the people. So despite my Japanese being so limited, I was actually able to like kind of like speak with the locals, and it was pretty cool. One time we got lost in Kyoto, and like I had to use my broken limited Japanese to like talk to these 2 schoolgirls who were like my age at the time, and we were just like, yo, can you like help us? We're lost. And they were like, bet. So yeah, it's actually these people right here. Real cool people. And just in general, even though my Japanese is so limited, I just tried my best to speak with people. Was I speaking too early? Probably, but it was a good time. I just tried to speak to as many people as I could, start conversations here and there with like random people on the streets. It was a good time. And I definitely recommend like getting out there. Don't be shy. Just speak. Even if it's broken, just practice. Who cares? But at the end of the day, it was a vacation. It wasn't like a work or study abroad thing. I could only speak so much. So we ended up coming back from the trip. Yeah, it was a good trip, all that, yada, yada, yada. At this point, I was a sophomore in high school, or going into my sophomore year of high school now. And I kind of fell off in terms of like studying Japanese. I was kind of trying to study the formal way. I was going online and looking at different websites and how to learn different grammar parts and different vocab, and it wasn't gonna work. You can't learn the textbook way or the formal way. So it was, I think, around a couple months of this, and I learned very, very little. And then quarantine came. Quarantine was some of the worst and best times of my life. Like everybody else, you know, stuck inside, just like watching mindless YouTube videos and scrolling on social media like a loser. But then like something hit me. I learned that like we learn languages the same way. We all learn through immersion, like as a baby. You know English. If English is your native language, you know it because like growing up, you were just in that English environment. So I was like, yo, and then it hit me. I was like to myself, bro, all this scrolling that you're doing in these YouTube videos that you're watching, do it, but just do it in Japanese. So that's exactly what I did. I just made a whole new YouTube account only for Japanese videos. And then I made one of the best language learning investments I made in my life, which is getting a VPN. Japanese Netflix goes crazy. I learned so much Japanese just from Japanese Netflix, but like I can't watch these shows being in the US, so I had to just get a VPN. And then I only started watching Japanese Netflix. I had to buy a VPN so I could get access to Japanese Netflix, and I started watching only Japanese shows. I was reading only Japanese manga, like in Japanese. I was doing this 6 days out of the week. I had like one English rest day, if you will, where I just watched whatever I wanted. But 6 days out of the week, I was disciplined. I said, you're only going to watch Japanese YouTube, watch Japanese shows, and read Japanese books only. But while I was doing this, I was also making flashcards on a program called Anki. Anki is like a flashcard app similar to like Quizlet in that sense, but it's different in the sense that it only shows you the card when you're about to forget it. It uses something called a space repetition system, which basically means what I just explained. Like only when you're about to forget the card is when it shows you the card. So I would always like, whenever I see a new word that's pretty common, like I see it a lot and it keeps bothering me, I'm like, okay, make a flashcard. One side is the word, other side is the definition and like the reading, how to read it. And then I would just rinse and repeat. Keep watching shows, I see a new word, make a flashcard, rinse and repeat the cycle. And essentially that's where I got. I started doing that in quarantine, and I stopped doing that maybe like a year after. In this phase, I was hardly speaking at all. It was so much input, but very little output. I was pretty much never speaking. And I thought I needed to speak so I can practice my speaking ability. But I was actually quite shocked when I hopped on the phone on like Hello Talk, which is basically like social media, but for like language learners. It's weird. But I would essentially just like talk to randoms on that app, and where we'd practice Japanese speaking. And even though I never spoke, it was almost as if the word just flowed naturally. I could just speak naturally, despite me never speaking. And I was quite shocked, but then I realized it's just all in here. And then when you speak, it's finally taking what's in here out here. So essentially that's the journey. I've only been like learning Japanese for 2 years, and I've only been like immersing. That's where like the real learning happens for like 1 year. Unfortunately, I kind of stopped like a year ago or like a year and a half ago. I just really don't have time with like university now. But I definitely do want to get back into it so I don't forget my Japanese. But essentially that's how I learn. And I do want to make more videos regarding language learning, studying, and even just like productivity and self-improvement in general. So please comment down below what more videos that you guys want to see. And that being said, thank you guys for watching. Please do like and subscribe, and hand out.